So welcome to Ramona. We are live. We're streaming live from our Mixcloud account. Hello everyone. We're also on playback on our website. You can catch us there as well. I am with two very, very special guests today. We have Elliott and Russell from Editors. How are we doing, fellas?
Hi, thanks for having us. Great.
Yeah, good. Very well. You just had a pizza.
We did.
What is it? You had the Jabba.
The Jabba, that was delicious, and I had the, well, I don't
Did
think...
you have the ham and pineapple as well?
You can't, can you not call it Hawaiian these days?
I mean, I think it's a bit of a dark horse here. I'm a big fan of it. I'm a big fan of it. Oh, did you?
It's a debatable one, though, isn't it? You can have ham and pineapple pizza debate all night.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm not convinced on ham and pineapple.
There you go. So, the
well, you're here all the
side
time, though. Here, so
I haven't had it before, though. But I'm just, it's a bit of a Marmite thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
For some people. And
well, I'm welcoming you both. You're here quite a lot, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, Elliott's one of our DJs. Russell, we're very excited to hear what you're going to bring today as well. I was going to ask you. Obviously, I'm a bass player as well.
Yeah.
And do you gravitate towards bass player music or bass-centric music? Do you think?
I like a groove, definitely, but not necessarily the actual bass.
Right.
But I think that incorporates a groove is just how they want to present it, isn't it? So
I suppose the bass is obviously rhythm and melody, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. You can have both.
I find myself just playing a load of bass line music, a lot of bass heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was because I'm a bass player or that was just something.
You like the bass?
Your opinion on that?
Yeah, you do zone in on it a little bit more, though. I think. Right. Yeah. But I grew up listening to Radiohead, so kind of that was the.
What's the bass player's name? Do you know?
Thingy Greenwood.
Colin
Greenwood.
Colin Greenwood.
Is he his brother? Is he the guitarist?
Johnny. Yeah.
They're brothers.
Yeah, brothers. Yeah.
Wow. Because he's got an amazing style. Because it's so sort of solid. I think his bass playing. Because obviously a lot of the band's doing crazy stuff, but it's very sort of.
He's also a great person of knowing when to stop playing bass.
Yeah.
He definitely knows when to just drop it out, leave it for a bit, come back in, and then
I think
totally lifts the song.
Yeah, there's people that when they do that, it's class. And he'll to play it simple and then also have the national anthem, which
right,
a lead line. Kim Gordon, Pixies as well.
Yeah, 100%. One of the best all time, I think, bassists. It's like
so
those records without her, for me, they just
So tonight then, are we going to be sort of seeing any? Is it going to be as eclectic as that then, do you think, in terms of band stuff? Because obviously, DJing, we sort of touched on it before when we were chatting earlier, but obviously a lot of the time it's sort of expected to do DJ stuff. Obviously tonight you can do whatever you want. I'm just sort of curious as to think, you're going to be going into sort of the punk realms.
I think
or
the way that me and Russell like to DJ together is, it's kind of like we're in the dressing room before or after a gig,
right?
Kind of playing for each other as much as playing probably some bangers and just things that are big and obvious, as well as kind of things like, oh, have you heard this track or whatever. It's
play a bit of Jim Morrison followed by I don't know, Bob Marley,
Pet Shop Boys,
everything, everything in between, indie or mainstream. I think when people's perception of obviously Editors, it's that dark world, and you can be put in with The Cure to Depeche Mode to R.E.M., and we love all those bands, but we do listen a lot further.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think as well being working as a DJ or that often happens in the DJ world too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're expected to play house music or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And then so often, if you're a producer or you're a DJ, you love music, don't you? Of course. So you're going to be listening to all sorts of stuff that you're never going to or get the chance to play.
I think that's it. I think obviously DJs actually have to understand keys of music, the sound of kick drums and snares, the whole production. They need to understand that to be able to mix.
Yeah, and you'd like to think they would.
You'd like to think so, yeah. Obviously, you could just plug in a cable and it can, you can beat match straight away for some house tunes. And, it's all there. But I think for the traditional sense of a DJ, of what I've liked about them is when someone takes you on a full journey of me and Elliott went to see Dispatch Show a few years ago. The first time they did that, the Soul Wax guys and
I think that's
James.
that's kind of, and playing things that are weird or odd or it's music can be so broad, and I think we also quite like things that are just there's everyone's got brilliant weird tunes that they put out in like the 80s
They
or the
never see the light of
70s
day.
or like someone like the Who might have made a one funk track in their life, and actually that funk track's brilliant.
Yeah, you've got it.
I've got it.
Yeah. No, we'll save it for later.
Yeah, but
I know you were saying before that like a bit like the sort of soundtrack to the backstage of the green room. You know, I can imagine you guys having a little Bose speaker and sort of cranking out some tunes before you go on.
Yeah, we've got a dressing room case, and it's got a nice set of speakers, and we can have a nice little vibe in backstage.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like a really important part of our gig, is like the hour or so before we get on stage is we kind of lock ourselves away, have a couple of drinks, listen to music, and sort of just start getting vibed up for a show. And it's like
also when we were doing like records, like when we did In Dream in Scotland, we had like a big PA in this made up studio that we had in the Highlands, and in the evening we just start playing tunes, and anything from like Robert Palmer through to I don't know whatever. It's all open, and then it kind of seeps in. Then different sounds. You could be like, oh, that could kind of work with.
I mean, it is just great crack, isn't it? Like doing all those different genres feed into like a creative inspiration, don't they? The sort of if you listen, I was saying to Johnny, we were just playing. Johnny, our technician here, we were playing some music before. We did some jamming. I'm just saying that if we start listening to Fela Kuti, it's going to inform our our normal classic sort of normal bass playing so much better than we would if we were listening to stuff that we normally sort of associate with what we normally do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think we're going to play Mr. Brightside, but you never know.
Yeah. Give it 3 hours.
So is there any something I normally ask our guests is there any emerging or even older labels or artists that you've had your eye on recently that you sort of that you've been really enjoying, or you've got on in the car the whole time, something you've got on your Spotify or your Apple Music, if that's your vibe?
I've got a notification that I'm in the top 2% listeners for Rage Against the Machine.
Whoa,
that's incredible.
Yeah.
Whoa,
that's an incredible stat.
I just listened to them loads on my walks on lockdown.
Really? Right.
I've seeped into the top 2%.
What Rage are you listening to?
They've only got 3 albums.
Yeah, all 3.
Yeah,
back to back.
Yeah, just 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
1, 2, 3.
Newer stuff. I don't know. I really like a girl called Biba Doobie, and she's kind of grungy. It's got a kind of 90s thing.
Where did you find her?
I mean, she's been around for a little while. She's kind of like one of those people I think had like a big song on the internet and has gone on. I think she's doing fairly well right now. But I like that a lot. I really like the Dewey label from Belgium, which is the Soul Wax dudes. They put out some incredible stuff, like the Bolus Pupil stuff and Philip and Rodrigo. Nice. It's really, really interesting kind of spin, I guess. A lot of the stuff they built, they mix it all in their studio in Ghent, and it's all modular. They've got a proper studio now, those guys. They know what they're doing.
Nice and varied.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, great. Well, thank you so much for the little check-in.
Yeah.
We look forward to the DJ set.
Great.
Cheers,
Thank
fellas.
Nice one. Thanks.